not the most conducive. They are living in homes that do not have electricity. They're living in homes that have been mucked and gut, that don't have walls, but they wanted to come home to help build Abaco. And we're excited about that. We know it's difficult. We know it is uncomfortable, the environment that they're living in, but they want to be home. And that does our heart good because we want them to be home to build Abaco back to what it used to be. Now, in coming home, however, there's a shortage of housing, and not only for them, but a shortage of housing for our teachers. And so we were not able to bring in all of the teachers. We had 162 teachers on the island before Hurricane Dorian, and now we have 84 teachers back, and they're not all back physically. Some of them are back virtually because we cannot find homes for them. And so the fact that the Rotary decided to ask us, Ms. Russell, what do you need? And I heard the cries of parents, and I heard the cries of teachers, as well as the Ministry of Education. We have been agitating for, support. And so what the Rotary did was provide data plans and devices, not just the devices, but the data plans to go with them, because our schools are under repair. There was nowhere to house our teachers to provide a quality education. So imagine the big gap: no housing and no schools to provide education. And so everything had to be virtual. And Rotary assisted us by providing data plans for our teachers so that they could give the quality education, because they're using their personal data plans. And they were using their personal devices until the ministry sent some devices for them. And then, of course, our parents were using their phones, for their data plans, those who could. And those who could not afford it, then those children were not getting any support until our teachers decided to send some physical work to them, where they actually carry home the work. But because of Rotary, we were able to access data plans, devices for our children.
When I come back here, I couldn't even find the corner. I gone to the next corner and missed my corner. That's how bad it was. No one come. Only Rotary Club. I asked for assistance from different agencies just to get the ice and water shield to stop the water from coming down. Because after the hurricane, the shingle on my roof is just torn apart. And in between the crack with the plywood joint, that's where the water started to come. I was out of my shop trying to do a car, trying to make a couple of dollars. And what happened is one man said, just come back by your house. I see Mr. Ken Swan, because I know he was on the floor. So I said, Ken Swan, that's you? He said, I haven't locked him before. I said, no, I never locked him before. He said, what happened? I said, I need your help. He walked over, he was going to this house here. He walked over here and he said, okay, what you need? I said, I just need to sleep. I said, water, this house here pouring down. I can't even sleep. Every time the rain comes down, I go one room to the next room, just to subside from the water from getting me. So he said, okay, today's your lucky day. Whatever we need me to do, if I get help by that, whatever. I do body work, you can see them. If they need me to paint a car for them or do whatever they need to do to help, I'll do it for them. That's great. So Rotary Club do a good job. They help a lot of people. So I'm so thankful for them helping me and my tenants. So whatever they need me to do to help them, I will do it.
This whole place was rubble. She got started, I call it 3 Sundays ago. Yeah. You joking with me, right?
It was rough.
It was rough?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah?
But I thank God.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I thank God.
There you go.
Yeah. The Rotary helped me so much, I wanted to burst out in tears. They gave me sheetrock, doors, everything. I had joint compounds. I don't need anything. They gave me everything for my house for inside, and I appreciate that.
Mr. Sherman.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
How are you this morning?
Is it someone familiar?
It does?
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm here standing in your living room as I walk through your place. I tell me what you think.
Oh my goodness. I just love it. It's coming together. Oh, God, it's awesome.
Well, me being a contractor, I was willing to help people get back in their home because a lot of people in our stuff still don't have a place to live. So after my good friend Strawn called me and asked me to help to volunteer, I was happy to do it because a lot of people still sleeping in cars. So this house here, I do all the rock sheets, the trims, the doors and locks and just about everything. But the Rotary Club doing a good job, very good job.
We had to reshingle the roof. We changed out all the vinyl soffits, put up the wooden soffits, drywall, the walls and ceilings inside. And right now we're waiting for the mud man to come and put the mud plaster on, and then afterwards I still have some doors I have to change out. Based on the work I did along with them, they've been very active in trying to get, because first we started off just doing roofs. And then after Mr. Strawn came along and he looked at it, he said, no, we're doing the roofs, but the house is still kind of livable because the interior is still damaged. So he started to do both roofs and interior.
When I returned 4 weeks later, I pitched a tent upstairs in the church. The church was still leaking, the windows were out. We still had to cover the tent with tarp. We've come a long way today. The building looks quite nice. Lots of the key repairs are being done. The school, we found some hidden damage in it, and that has been reinforced, the roof and so on. It's much better than it was before Dorian. In 1985, we started meeting again at homes of members in Marsh Harbor and eventually acquired this crown land to start building the church. In 1988, the church was dedicated. It's a Methodist school. I started the school in 1989. We saw the need. It's the first private high school in Abaco. We have seen many touching stories of people. We had a family of 8 living outside in a tent for months, and we were able to help them to move into their home. And that story was repeated several times in some of the communities that we serve: Spring City, Murphytown, Dundastown, Marsh Harbor, Central Banks.
Well, I can tell you initially that, the first impression of that school was devastating. The church and school, it was beyond, you were thinking beyond repair initially, totally devastated when you look at before and after. And windows out, gutted out, ceiling, the roof, and damage, and you could physically, you could look straight from one side to the next when you look from one end of the school particularly, and totally devastation. When you look at the underlying tenets of Rotary of building stronger communities, and we don't work independently, work in concert with the residents to build them, and I think our thing is putting smiles on people's faces, uplifting, giving people a sense of hope. So that's what Rotary, we were able to get in there. We quickly identified the needs. We quickly were able to see that this was a project that needed some help. And we jumped on without any hesitation. And we were able to get, we have international partners, Rotaries worldwide. So we had no question about whether we're going to get help financially, as the case may be. So we went right in there, got a construction company, Sagoma Company, and they led the construction process. And I'm telling you, that place is going to be a million times better off than what it originally was. It's almost like a new rebuild. So I think this is going to do so much for them. Despite the negative happenings, this is going to shine a positive light. This is going to shine a positive light and do some things among the residents there. Just under $150,000 was spent, but that is the cap price, and I thought we are eternally grateful for it. There's a club in Florida, the Seminole Lake Rotary Club. I'm going to tell you, they are a powerful club. They have been very instrumental and working with my local club, the Rotary Club of Nassau, and causing a lot of things to happen in Abaco. They have been providing for families. They have been providing materials. They have done a number of things. They are on the process. They're working with schools. So we must give them really the kudos, the Seminole Rotary Club, for the work they've been doing with us.
One of the biggest issues here we had was the hurricane came in because this window got blown out. The hurricane came in, the tornado came in and pushed this whole roof and gave it a belly. And literally all the walls and everything was coming up. It was almost like the father said, well, this past the carry place, leave it alone. A lot of contractors came. Their game plan was to take everything off. But through little ideas here and there, we got a big heavy equipment, we built some scaffolds, built some beams, and together, in a synchronized motion, everything was pushed back. The forklift stayed overnight for 3 days, and we locked the plate. And now you see the whole roof is straight. We literally saved probably about $120,000 by not taking the roof off. It's inspiring, and when I was here 8 months ago, this place was completely devastated. The way I see the unity and the way I see the people are coming together, and Rotary, oh my God, Rotary is doing a great job, excellent job. I mean, and they're gathering contractors, they're gathering laborers, they're just fighting to get projects turned over one at a time.
Hurricane Dorian and the now harsh economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas have increased their efforts to assist as many people as possible. To hear how Rotary continues its work on the island of Abaco and its Keys, we go to Argerino Sanders for more.
As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage around the world, its devastating negative economic impact is also continuing to affect the ability of many Bahamians to be able to find the bare essentials for survival and basic comforts. Continuing with its multi-pronged approach to assisting the residents and communities of Abaco, last week, the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas partnered with Global Med Tech out of Canada to host a food drive at the Aldersgate Methodist Church in Marsh Harbor to help bring a bit of relief to those residents in need.
We have been blessed with this generous donation from Global Medic of Canada, and we are just happy to say that we have this offering for the people of Abaco. From Little Abaco in the north to Sandy Point in the south, all and sundry are welcome to come and partake of what we have here today. In our food buckets, we have 4 bags of rice, we have 2 bags of green peas, we have kidney beans, we have grits, we also have pasta, for the Bahamians, that's staple food for us. And also we have hygiene kits in our other bucket, and it has all the necessary hygiene products that you would need in your household.
Rotary Clubs from New Providence took a small team to Abaco to assist President Dwayne Wallace and the renewed Abaco Rotary Club as they distributed hundreds and hundreds of food packages. With access to potable water still being a challenge on Abaco, the Rotary and its partner, Global Med Tech, also provided many residents with a portable water filtration system that can transform most water sources into clean water using coal. Abaco's Sheena McIntosh also lost her home and family members in the hurricane, but she has offered to work with Rotary, helping others to get back on their feet. She told us how Abaconians can register for assistance with home repairs.
As I mentioned initially, it was word of mouth. It was through other Rotarians who knew the system was happening, and they kindly passed on emails or contacts. Reverend Carey pretty much acted as the face on the ground. Everyone heard, they would go to him, they would ask him. And I know that once you became connected to it, persons would stop and ask. However, the system had forms. The form is now set up where we have websites, we have direct links, and we are establishing still word of mouth, but the website and cards that will allow people to access this.
According to Rotary, there is no set timeline for the project to end because they realize there is still a long road back to full recovery.
Grand Bahama and Abaco, as we all know, got hit by the worst hurricane in our history. Category 5, could have been a Category 6 if there was such a thing. It was devastating, and what the people went through in both islands, both areas, because the Abacos have a number of keys, was just horrendous and traumatic for a lot of individuals. So from the mental health perspective, it's all this a year and some months later, they still need us to help them with dealing with the trauma that they had to go to. Just imagine hanging onto a tree for hours, just hoping that you'll survive and not knowing if you will or not. That's traumatic for any of us. So we need to keep thinking of what they went through and helping them, even though it's all this time later. But Rotary started on day one and helping to get people evacuated, help people get registered here in New Providence, get them moved to Luthra, Spanish Wells, New Providence, to the homes. We did a lot of work right up front, and individuals have been out on the streets helping them ever since. I'm so proud of Rotarians in this country because they have worked hard to get the job done. We are known as not immediate disaster relief on an international basis, but locally we do disaster relief. Then we get into what we're really good at is the long-term recovery. And that's what we're still working on. And we know that while we've had help from so many international agencies and we're very grateful, we also know that Rotary is going to be the last ones to leave. So we're going to be there in Abaco. We've got 5 clubs in Grand Bahama, Rotary clubs. They're doing fantastic work. We help them when they need us to help them. But Abaco needs a lot more help. So we're really focused on helping Abaco get back on their feet. I mean, imagine the Rotary Club members got devastated just like everybody else. So there was only about 4 members left immediately after the storm. So, but with Dwayne's help and others there, they've been slowly rebuilding. And I think more people in the community now understand the benefit of being part of Rotary because we do help in situations like this. So they're growing their club, they're getting back, and they're instrumental in helping us to do the right things that they need. What we're trying to do is when we do a recovery effort like this, that's such major devastation, so you have to do a lot of rebuilding. When you rebuild, you don't want to just rebuild the old way that they had it, but look to what's the future? What can we do that's better than it was before? So that, honestly, it costs more money, but we need to be looking long-term to see what we could do. So with CAPS, we said solar power is perfect for what they need on the islands. Not just Abaco, by the way, all the islands. And we want to be a part of taking us to the next level. And it's not only good for helping the school get back, but it's also good for the environment. And the environment is now one of our areas of focus in Rotary. So we could help our planet, and solar power is a good way to do that. So we really were happy to be a part of that program.
I'm Pierre Vanderweel. I'm a singer-songwriter, an artist, an activist. And I wrote the song Come Back Home, Abaco Relief Song. I wrote this in the immediate aftermath after Hurricane Dorian. The Abacos have been a place that I've called home since I was a very small baby, since I was 7 months old. I wanted to write this for my friends and my family who were affected by the hurricane. And really this song is it's a rallying anthem to bring people back home, to be there for each other and with each other in this beautiful place that we love so much.
7 months old when I first touched down. Friends I found and they're a family now. From girl to teen, dancing at tipsies. Chris sings his soul, so brave, so bold. Abaco is where you feel the glow, hear the singing voices when the sun's down low. We all know that we dance for hope, so we made the choice that we're gonna come back home, come back home. The love that helps you grow, always waiting here with all you've known. Home, come back home. Feel the lighthouse home when you're coming home to Abaco. Cinnamon buns, Florence at the it's silent chill, she's world famous still. seeing the stars. Green Turtle Club, the sea of dusk, a paradise rebuilt by us. So come back home, come back home. The love that helped you grow, always waiting here with all you've known. Home, come back home. Feel the lighthouse home when you're coming home to Abaco.
Topping today's news, Prime Minister Philip Davis addresses the United Nations General Assembly. The opposition chairman addresses critical shortages local blood banks face. And Social Services Director speaks out after a light sentence for a serial rapist. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's definitely a pleasure to have you join us. While speaking at the United Nations General Assembly today, Prime Minister Philip Davis continued his fight for climate financing and more assistance for vulnerable developing states like the Bahamas. The Prime Minister chastised developing countries for their focus on war and military equipment while spending far less on protecting humanity from global warming that has passed the critical threshold of 1.5 degrees centigrade.
At this very moment, the new harsh reality manifests in hurricanes and heat, fire and floods. Member states can somehow quickly find eye-watering sums of money for bullets and bombs, but only rattle small change in their pockets when it comes to financing the costs of loss and damage, repair and recovery, so desperately needed to adapt to the new climate reality. Why? Why do members persist in ignoring the biggest threat of our lives? The easy answer would be to say that you just don't care. But I cannot accept that. To do so would be to accept a view of humanity which is at odds with my faith and lived experience of humanity.
The Prime Minister then explained to the world leaders why the Bahamas has applied to be a temporary member of the United Nations Security Council.
The Security Council of the future will not be equipped to deal with the biggest crisis of our time without voices like ours at the table. The link between climate change and global security is undeniable. Things are bad now, and they're going to get a lot worse before they get better. Climate considerations must be integrated into all aspects of the Security Council's work. Because of this, the Bahamas stands ready to advocate and support whatever reforms are needed to help maximize the effectiveness of the work of the Council. Membership for countries like ours was not what the Charter members contemplated when the UN was established. But it is countries like ours which will help the Council with inclusive, truly representative decision-making needed to help address the greatest crisis of our time.
Prime Minister Davis also had a very strong message for developed countries in regards to what he describes as unfair global financial systems.
Aspirations to lasting global peace and security will remain empty dreams if not supported by economic security. For too long, the global financial system has been skewed against developing nations. It is a cruel irony that industrialized nations who bear the greatest responsibility for the climate crisis often perpetuate another form of injustice in the form of our current global system. We have been instrumental in exposing the hypocrisy of unilateral blacklisting and advocating for a framework that prioritizes fairness and inclusivity. The present system, with its dark rules and uneven playing field, drains resources from developing countries, leaving us to grapple with the consequences. The Bahamas refuses to accept this double standard. We are raising our voice to demand a fairer and more equitable international framework, one where the voices of all countries, regardless of population or GDP, are heard and respected.
Prime Minister Davis also spoke about the challenges in Haiti and the efforts needed to help Haiti become a stabilized country once again. We'll have more from his speech in a later report. On Wednesday, many residents in the country were left shocked and appalled after 22-year-old Joel Strawn, who was charged with raping multiple women within days of each other, including the brutal rape and sodomy of an 83-year-old grandmother, was given just a 9-year prison sentence after a plea deal. While on Thursday, Acting Director of Social Services Shalome Fernanda said stiffer penalties are needed in instances like this.
We need to look at what is on our books now and see what we can do to strengthen them. It'll take a collective effort, certainly. Now, I'm not aware of a law that specifically speaks to sexual offenses against senior citizens, but we do have the Sexual Offenses Act that addresses sexual offenses in general. And maybe it's time for us to look at that. Seniors, and then I'd add persons with disabilities.
Mrs. Fernando said the most vulnerable citizens among us should be afforded greater protections. And finally, in this segment, the chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, shared his views on the imminent blood shortage at the blood bank during an interview with Christian Jones on Love 97's Issues of the Day talk show on Thursday. Dr. Sands explained that the issue of blood shortage is directly linked to Bahamians not donating as they should. When asked why he felt donations were stagnant, he had this to say.
We have had, since Bernard Nottage was the minister, a plan for a national blood bank, which is really the only thing that's going to solve the problem. A national blood bank where it is in a convenient location where we can have national blood drives, etc. Because Bahamians, unfortunately, and there are some soldiers, some amazing people who donate regularly, but the average Bahamian does not donate blood unless their family member or loved one is in need of blood, right? So I think we can get into the specifics of policy, but that is a far less significant reason why people don't donate blood. But blood and blood availability in the Bahamas is a massive problem, particularly given the problem that we have with violence.
Dr. Sands emphasized that this issue of blood affects all Bahamians, and when asked if he thinks Bahamians should receive monetary compensation like some other countries do, he said he felt voluntarism, the samples were likely to be less contaminated than from persons out there donating blood for a payment. You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Now, I know I've said it before, but this time, I swear it's different. Grammy dreamed about this number, so I won't lose. I can't lose. This is my last time. Please, son, just give me one more chance. I'll give it all back to you.
Excessive gaming affects more than just the gamer. This message has been brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas, which encourages you to game responsibly.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Born on August 6, 1939, he hails from the quaint settlement of Stevenson, Cat Island, Bahamas. Hear him tell his story, from teacher to out-island commissioner to public administrator to accomplishing a law degree at 64 years of age and many other things in between. Bahamian Heritage Series presents attorney Newton R. MacDonald. Plan to tune in on his 84th birthday this Sunday, August 6, 2023 at 6 p.m. JCN TV, Cable Channel 14.
You guys, Mommy has to get a few spins in, okay?
But Mommy, I'm hungry.
Just 5 spins, you guys. Just 5 spins, okay, guys? Just need 5 spins.
We better do our homework. It's gonna be a while.
Problem gaming affects more than just the gamer. This message has been brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas, which encourages you to game responsibly.
Cancer won't wait. It won't wait for appointments to open up or test results to come back. That's why at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, our world-class experts give you the care you need when you need it, with appointments in as little as 24 hours and rapid test results to get you a personalized treatment plan. Because cancer isn't just what we do, it's all we do. Call today. Appointments available now.
Chest pain is a worrying symptom and a common reason for persons to come to the emergency department. It is described as any pain, discomfort, or uncomfortable sensation in the chest, upper abdomen, or below the neck. Chest pain radiating to the jaw or arm and associated with other symptoms like vomiting, shortness of breath, fainting, dizziness, or palpitations should be assessed by a doctor right away. Serious medical disorders that can present with chest pain include conditions arising from the heart, such as heart attack or aortic dissection, conditions arising from the lungs, such as pneumonia or blood clot, conditions arising from the stomach, such as heartburn or ulcers. Some of these medical disorders are life-threatening and some are not. If the emergency physician deems that your chest pain is associated with a life-threatening condition, you will undergo further evaluation and treatment, which may require a longer stay in the emergency department. You may be asked the following questions by the medical team: the onset of the chest pain, the severity, are you having any associated symptoms? Do you have a family history of heart disease? Do you have heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or any lung problems? Are you taking any medications, and if so, what are you taking? Do you consume alcohol and smoke cigarettes? Thereafter, the doctor may decide to do blood tests, such as a heart test and a chest X-ray. Depending on the results, you may be discharged or referred to a specialist
for admission to hospital. Chest pain is often an indicator of a very serious illness. Please have it checked out by a medical practitioner. Remember, the best person to manage your health is you.
Welcome back. While on Love 97's Issues of the Day radio talk show on Thursday, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands also commented on the newly purchased ambulances, questioning why the Davis administration chose standard shift vehicles. Dr. Sands explains that staffing for the vehicles may be difficult because many Bahamians do not drive standard shift vehicles. Although conflicted on the decision to purchase this type of vehicle, Dr. Sands says he is sure once fully staffed with competent workers and drivers, the new ambulances will be of great benefit to the Bahamian people. With the completion of the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium and the ongoing renovations of the Thomas A. Robertson National Track and Field Stadium, Youth Sports and Culture Minister Mario Boleg says he wants more athletes to utilize the facilities to help enhance their skills as opposed to the facilities lying empty for much of the year.
Well, we definitely want to see more NBA teams, professional teams, not only just in the NBA, but also in baseball and also in soccer and those, because we want to utilize the facilities that we have there. They were built for that reason. And definitely the Sixers comes this weekend. Miami comes next week. And so I have a meeting with the Miami Heats upon their arrival to the Bahamas. And again, we want to look and see how we can continue partnershiping with these international bodies and see how we can continue to give the Bahamas the exposure it needs and give the athletes who play in these various disciplines the exposure to be able to see these are professional athletes and coaches and be able to enhance their level of performance so that they can get to that next level.
The baseball stadium officially opened in December of 2022 with Prime Minister Davis throwing out the first pitch at those opening ceremonies. Members of the local Veterinarian Medical Association were thrilled to hear the following bill read for the first time during the morning session of the House of Assembly on Wednesday by the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville.
First reading of bills. The chair recognizes the honourable member for Tallpine.
Morning, Madam Speaker. I beg leave to introduce and have read for the first time a copy of the following. A bill for an act to make the provision for the registration and licensing of veterinarians, the registration of veterinary paraprofessionals, the regulations of the practice of veterinary medicine and related purposes.
Thank you, honourable members.
The new legislation will set new standards in the veterinarian field as there has been an increase in unlicensed operators. President of the Veterinarian Medical Association of the Bahamas, Dr. DeAndre Delancey Milford, said the legislative committee of the association will meet to discuss the bill and inform their members of the implications. Going forward, individuals operating as veterinarians will have to be properly licensed and adhere to stipulated regulations. And finally, the inaugural Bahamas Real Estate Exchange, BRX, is taking place this Saturday, September 28th at the Goldwyn Resort. This event aims to unite key players in the real estate sector. Participants can expect to address current market realities, share insights on best practices, promote property listings, and hear from industry experts on ways to improve the functioning of the market in the Bahamas. This event is said to be an excellent opportunity for networking and a crucial platform for fostering collaboration and innovation within the Bahamian real estate market. That'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jorino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.